Hey, what's up, everyone? There are some people out there who are not going to like some of my videos, and there are others that are going to agree with what I have to say. You can't make everyone happy, but I try to share truth where I see it, at the same time as putting in some of my opinions if I know that they are backed by actual facts that are there. And sometimes I just share my own personal experiences and my thoughts, but there's something I want to share right here. Sorry if I'm talking either too loud or not loud enough. I have an ear problem. My right ear is completely stopped up. It sounds like someone's put an earplug in my ear and just cupped my ear, and I can't hardly hear anything. So sorry if I'm either talking too loud or not loud enough. I don't know. Anyway, I want to go ahead and share something that I consider to be evidence that they have obviously rigged toward the opposite direction. I checked this on August 21st, and it was updated. Also, it was updated on August 28th, and the current 2020 polls showed Biden 45, Trump 47, and now they tried to say, well, that was false information. Now, oddly enough, the internet went, a huge chunk of the internet went down. This is what was going on. AT&T had outages, internet had outages, people were complaining about it across much of the United States. And that was just enough time to affect many parts of the internet and maybe even take things offline. But I couldn't find this now. Now they're trying to claim that Biden has a 9-point lead over Trump. I don't believe that. And what's amazing to me is they said, we really need to do something about this rioting. Now it's really showing up in the polls. Now, when it was going against them, when it was going for them, they were fine. You can't, I'm sorry, the logic does not make any sense. The president wanted to send in the military and end that rioting when it started. They said, you can't do that. He said, okay, well, I'll let you settle this yourself. I'll send in more police force. You can't do that. Then he signed an executive order and was going to send it. And then they claimed, oh, it's martial law when you send military in. So he said, well, I'll send in the National Guard. They said, we don't need your help. It's bad enough. It'll just escalate the violence. And many Caucasian individuals have been murdered. The only one that they showed was one that was a radical Trump supporter. They showed him on the news, and he shot several people. They're not even telling the fact about that individual who got shot by the police, had raped, had murdered. All the things he did, they're making him out to be some saint. They raised well over $3 million for his... Now, that should go to his family. And they're fussing about him being handcuffed in the hospital, this last guy that got shot on the news. They're not telling about all the things they say they found on him. They found many charges on him. They're not talking about it. They're making him out to be some kind of a saint. Or when the Caucasian child was thrown off of the balcony of a mall by a Somalian person in America. And he said, I just hate white people. I did it because he was white. See, this is the sad part of today's world. It's similar to what the Bible verse stated, that people would be bloodthirsty. They would be just filled with violence and hate and all this that is described the way people would be. They seem brainwashed, really. And why is Biden able to speak so well all of a sudden? Does he have one of Elon Musk's chips to help his... secretly put inside his brain to help out his cognitive abilities and neurological functions? Because the Biden that I was witnessing just weeks ago did not have the level of cognitive ability and neurological function to carry out a basic sentence, let alone a speech. It just doesn't add up. Something is not right. But the latest polls, now they claim, we got to do something. It's like Kayleigh McEnany said, that's like starting a fire and then the arsonist blaming the firefighters. Now they're saying we have to do something. That's like a rogue person and a Walmart employee blows up one of the Walmarts or does something really stupid, burns it down, and they blame the CEO of Walmart. Or whatever. You know my example. You get the point. It just doesn't add up. Really doesn't add up. Another thing, I believe this poll, and I am so glad I took a screenshot of it. This poll, the latest polls, showed Trump 47, Biden 45. Trump up 2 points. Now, they want to claim that he's down 9 points. This morning they said that, we were wrong, we reassessed the information, he's down 9 points. I don't believe that. I don't believe it one bit. After the internet suddenly goes down, a large chunk of the internet goes down, then his polls are up. It's such rigging, and that's really sad, but that's what we're seeing. Alright, so I had to share a few of my opinions. I know there's some out there that support one way, some support another. I don't really see how you could not see what the obvious decision is, who the obvious candidate is. I don't see how you could not. One's pretty much stating everything positive, everything that could help Americans out, and the other's pretty much talking about destroying the America we know. I mean, I don't see how. Watch Sid Roth's video called It's Supernatural. Sid Roth, It's Supernatural channel. He said this is basically a decision that's going to dictate the continual rise or fall of the nation, and we'll see what happens. So you need to watch that channel as well. It has some very good information. I noticed I was hearing some voices yesterday, and they told me some things, and it turned out to be stuff I didn't know. I looked it up and looked these things up, and it's stuff I wasn't aware of. And it turned out to actually be real things. It was actual real information that had been given to my mind. I heard a voice, and it would like that right there. It talked like that. It would whisper. That sounds like Clint Eastwood talking like this. You have a problem with me, punk? Anyway, now you have to ask yourself one question. Anyway, I have a lot to talk about. I can't hear out of my right ear at all. It's all completely stopped up, so yeah, there's that. But I did hear some things, and it turns out when you hear something that's whispered or told to you, and then it turns out to be an actual word or an actual thing or true, you know you're hearing something. Anyway, just thought I'd share this. I really, really think they're rigging things at this point. I know they are. They're just going to try to do all they can not let this happen. I mean, how can they show and stand up for such violence and then call the current administration a radical? A radical. And he spoke, when you speak this calmly, first of all, where was Biden speaking from last time? Why won't he show his eyes? He squints them and they look black. Second of all, he won't show his eyes. First of all, where was he at? A protective cage? Look at the multiple layers in that cage right there. He didn't mention Antifa or the BLM, opportunistic BLM movement. But why are his eyes? Look at that. His eyes are so black. I mean, what the heck? Anyway, and he's behind a cage, for crying out loud. How can they call this radical?
And even his strange speech today that he made in Pittsburgh. And like we just did in Wisconsin, where I'll be going tomorrow, and at least the governor asked me if I could, I said, you got to get the National Guard, and he finally agreed to even a small number, but they were able to take care of things, and that was about 6 days ago. and ever since it's been very good.
He was talking about his calls, and it's been very good in that particular area that he called the governor there. Now, I don't understand. Why are they calling that speech radical? I don't get that logic. That was a calm speech and a calm response, and they want to call that radical. Does that sound radical to you? Not to me. They called the president radical. They literally called his speech radical. Yet this is fine? They were screaming because they were trying to arrest a woman that assaulted a police officer. And then she's like, let her blanking go. Yelling, let her blanking go. Makes no sense. They're literally asking what's wrong with the police officers, and they're screaming and then hugging each other like, ooh. And yet they called this radical.
The violent rioters share Biden's same talking points, and they share his same agenda for our nation. He even talked about those on the right, but he didn't talk about those on the left, and those on the left are the problem, and Antifa is the problem. The rioters and Joe Biden have it.
I don't understand. That calm speech is considered language of hate. That calm speech is considered radical language. They said he was hostile, but what I just showed you was not considered hostility. That was considered fine. We have some problems. Anyway, that's my opinions. What are yours? Give your thoughts. Keep your eyes on love and try to be nice, try to be kind, treat others as you'd want to be treated. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Peace. Signing out. I love you all. Times of craziness. Times of craziness. But hopefully we'll make it through the Great Awakening and we'll get where we're going and bring in unity. I don't understand their logic in the media. I don't get it. Not one bit. I have to talk about these things because I don't understand it. It's not logic. Right is wrong, wrong is right, left is right, right is left. Logic is considered hate speech. Calm is considered hate speech, but yet violent riots are considered peacemaking. Who's ever heard burning? Like I wrote a song. I did a freestyle rap the other day, and I said, "Who's ever heard of burning down a city in the name of love?" Anyway, peace. Signing out.